I want you to leave this video with an idea of who your shadow is. Hi there, my name is Daniela. I am a licensed therapist and I make videos about therapy, mental health, personal improvement, pregnancy, and honestly, whatever is going on in my life that I find valuable to share with you all. I want you to leave this video with an idea of who your shadow is. So let me tell you about some common traits, feelings, behaviors, aspects, symbols that people describe their shadow with. So the shadow can include negative emotions such as fear, anger, envy, jealousy, shyness, shame, guilt, sorrow. Negative traits such as selfishness, competitiveness, greed, repressed desires and urges such as desire for power, sex, control, drugs, death, recklessness. Behaviors that are outside of our conscious moral values such as lying, being dishonest, being manipulative, selfish, etc. Some common symbols used to represent the shadow include dark or shadowy figures, muted or dual colors such as gray, black, brown, and dusty colors, or even red for some people. Creatures or animals that are traditionally associated with shadows such as snakes, spiders, dragons. Some experiences or concepts that represent the shadow include traumatic events, the way your parents raised you, good or bad, subjective impressions of your childhood, and note that the shadow does begin to form at a very young age, so looking at your childhood is very important. Experiences in where you were rejected or reprimanded. Dreams have a lot to do with your shadow because think about it, dreams come from your unconscious mind, so it's direct unconscious juice that you're getting when you're having dreams. Fantasies, and then also projections or defensiveness towards people. That will tell you more about your shadow.
If you want structure on how to pinpoint the aspects of your shadow, you can check out this worksheet that has helpful prompts to dig into your shadow content, as well as space for you to put your thoughts down. The result, a good comprehensive definition of your shadow.
Important note, I know I'm describing the shadow as dark and evil and bad and creatures and all these negative words, but I don't want you to look at things with that negative connotation. It needs to be neutral. There needs to be no judgment when you think of your shadow. The shadow is not necessarily bad or evil, but rather a normal and necessary part of human beings. We all share these negative traits at a universal level. Our collective unconscious has these urges, thoughts, and information stored in the chip of your brain. It does. But aren't we often told that we shouldn't behave in these ways? Haven't you been told 1,000 times that you shouldn't think these thoughts because they're bad? Have you ever felt ashamed for experiencing them? The answer is going to be yes, yes, and yes. And that's the problem with our society, that it makes us feel obligated to hide these human aspects. And then later on, that becomes your shadow. Now let's make it a little bit fun and exciting using pop culture so you can understand the shadow a little better. Movie makers use this shadow concept a lot. Let's talk about one of my favorite movies, The Lion King. Scar is the main antagonist of the protagonist, Simba. He actually represents Simba's shadow. If you think about it, Simba is this really good guy.
He is this playful, energetic, naive, humble, likable lion.
Now, shadow emotions would be desire for power, control, and ambition. And that is what Scar represents. He wants that power, he wants that ambition, he wants that control. Here you go, Simba, perfect lion in society, Scar, the shadow lion in society. Now, Stranger Things. Stranger Things has so much shadow content. It deserves a full video, but today I'll talk about my favorite shadow situation in the last season, and that happens with Max. Max's shadow is completely exposed in the last season, and it happens when Vecna pushes her to accept her thoughts, her negative thoughts, and shameful feelings about her brother dying. Our society forces us to think that we have to love our family. Max's brother, she has to love him. He's a dick. So it is possible that she found some relief by him dying, but that is a shadow feeling. That is something she probably represses and denies and hides and avoids because she can't talk about it with anyone. It will be shameful to accept out loud that she feels relief in her brother dying. So those are two really good examples, and I hope it helps. So to conclude this video, I want to invite you to grab that journal, put a 15-minute timer. I don't want this to be super long and tiring for you. And write a brainstorm of ideas of what your shadow could be made of. I don't want you to write complete sentences and like a whole storybook. I just want you to write words, descriptions, drawings, whatever you want. Put your creative flow to work and see what happens. Maybe 15 minutes is a lot. Put whatever time you want. But anyways, after you complete this exercise, I want you to explore your feelings and thoughts. What was coming up for you when you were completing this exercise? Were you feeling angry, sad, scared, embarrassed? What happened? Then practice radical acceptance. Remember that these parts of you are normal and a necessary part of being human. So no judgment, please. Review and reflect. Maybe tomorrow, maybe in a few days, I want you to go back to what you wrote and take time to read it without judgment, to let it sink. Keep that reflective mindset cooking there. I want you to have reflections on your shadow for the rest of your day. If you don't mind, leave a comment down below with what you wrote and how you define your shadow. I'll love to see your responses. I'm so curious. Hopefully one of you does. I hope you had a lot of fun with this exercise. I hope you learned something about shadow work. Ask me any questions. Don't forget to subscribe to my channel, and I'll see you very soon in another video.